Find the intercepts of the function. First, I'm going to label my a value, my b value, and my c value. A is -4, b is -12, and c is -1. The first thing that I'm going to do is determine the concavity, and the concavity is determined by the a value. Because we have a -4, we're going to say this is concave down. If the a value was positive, then we would have said it would have been concave up. To get the y-intercept, if we have the function in standard form, the y-intercept will be the coordinate 0, c. And here the c value is going to be -1. So my y-intercept is going to be 0, -1. Now, in order to calculate the x-intercepts, I'm going to use the quadratic formula. So I'm going to begin to substitute all of my values onto the quadratic formula. So beginning with -b. So I get x equal to negative, and my b value for this problem is going to be -12, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so -12 squared minus 4, and we're going to multiply the quantities a and c. A is -4, c is -1, so we get -4, -1, and then we're going to divide all of this by 2 times a. A again is the quantity -4. After we have the setup, it's just a matter of simplification. So now we're going to get x equal to negative times negative make positive. So here this becomes a +12 plus or minus the square root of -12 to the second power. That's 144. Next, we're going to multiply these three quantities together. -4 multiplied with -4 is +16, but if we multiply with a -1, we get -16. And this is all divided by 2 multiplied with -4, which is -8. Next, we can simplify what's inside of the square root. That's going to leave us with x equal to 12 plus or minus the square root of 128 all over -8. 128 is not a perfect square, so we're going to go ahead and simplify the radical expression. And here I'm going to do it by getting the perfect squares. So I have 4 multiplied with 32. 4 is a perfect square. 32 is the same as 4 multiplied with 8. 4 is another perfect square. And then 8 is the same thing as 4 multiplied with 2. 4 is a perfect square, and then the 2 is a prime number. So here, the square root of 4 is 2, the square root of 4 is 2, the square root of 4 is 2. So these three values are going to be the values that are going to be outside of the radical. So I get x equal to 12 plus or minus 2 times 2 times 2. And then we're going to pair this remaining prime number inside of the square root. All of this is getting divided by -8. And let's go ahead and simplify a little bit more. Now we get 12 plus or minus, well, 2 times 2 times 2, that's going to give me 8. And now we can concentrate on the numerator. Notice that 12 and 8, the greatest common factor is 4, so I'm going to go ahead and factor out a 4, leaving me with a 3 plus or minus 2 root 2 all over -8. And now I'm going to simplify the 4 and the -8. That's just 1/2. So the 4 becomes 1, the 8 becomes 2. And now our final expression here, we can express it as 3 plus or minus 2 root 2 all over -2.